entertain you. We'll have a real good. And if you're real good, I'll make you feel good. I want your spirits to climb. Let me entertain you. And we'll have a real good time. Yes, sir. We'll have a real good time.
God! Well, that's the end of that. Hello, and welcome to Jan's World. Just thought I'd have a bit of a dance at the beginning. How are you all? Are you good? Are you all good? We're dancing. We're dancing. We're dancing. Has anyone heard the new Will Smith song? It's good. So those of you that have come on expecting a serious chat, we'll get there in a minute. Right, okay. Let's turn this music down a bit, it's a bit loud. Right. Mind you, I like this bit, hang on. It's Jan's World. We do what Jan wants to do. You. Yeah. You didn't know I was a headbanger, did you? Oh God! Right, that'll do. Right. Who have we got in today? Oh, goodness! That's the most exercise I've done all year. And where are we? We're in May. Right, I must stop. See, the problem is, if I hear music, I have to dance to it. If I go shopping and they play music in the shop, that's it, there's me gone. I can't talk to anyone, I can't, my mind just focuses straight on that music. Are you like that? I'm like that, anyway. Anyway, so who we got in tonight? I'm going to turn the music off for a little while because otherwise I cannot concentrate. Are we good? I hope we're good. So who we got in tonight? We've got Brandon. We've got Ollie. We've got Rye. Lovely to see you all. Are you good? Now, I thought tonight we could talk about equality. Now that can be across the board. That can be sexual equality, it can be racial equality, it can be any kind of equality you want to talk about. I'm up for it. The other thing I thought we could talk about was charity. What do you think of charity? What does charity mean to you? To me, it means giving hope, making people aware of various things, specifically illnesses. Do I give to charity? I give to cancer charities and I have a subscription for Bernardo's because if it wasn't for Bernardo's, God knows where I would have ended up. Because those of you that watch my videos will know I'm a Bernardo's girl, which means I was brought up in a Bernardo's home. So I always give to them. Although nowadays it's very different to when I was in a Bernardo home. Nowadays they've gone to more towards disabled children, and that's good, and also into integrating children into the community, because that's a good thing also. Now, when I was in Bernardo's, what happened was when you got to like 15, 16, basically you got sent out into the big wide world and were expected to look after yourself. Well, it's a bit hard when you've been institutionalised, which is what I was. I was very institutionalised. Even when I had opportunities, when I could have been adopted or fostered, I didn't want to go, because I'd go, but then I'd want to go home by the end of the day because I couldn't adjust to living in such a small house. And I guess I missed the routines because I was brought up to have a routine. My life was one big routine, I guess. We had certain times that we had to do things, and you just sort of did it. There was no sort of arguing. That was your life. So when you get to 16 and they sort of open the doors and off you go into the great wild world. Let's have a cup of tea. Wide world. You have to fend for yourself. It's not easy. It's kind of scary. And when I can still remember that even when I had my kids, I didn't know how to do things. I didn't know about inviting people back after school to play with my kids, and I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing about how people or children that had been brought up in a normal household were brought up. So still learning today. I don't know how nannies act because I never had one. So I just act like me. And I guess I've just spent my life doing that, just being me. And if people don't like it, tough titties. That's what I say. I'm me. I am what I am. I am my own special creation. And that's what you need to be. You may well have had a conventional upbringing. It doesn't matter. You're still your own person. Do not have people telling you how you should and shouldn't act. I've had people as adults telling me, and you know what? I've never taken any notice of anybody because at the end of the day, it's my life. I'll do what I want to do. What that's got to do with charity, I don't know. But that's a little bit to do with Bernardo's. So let me say a few hellos. Hello, Ollie. Hello, we've got our friend over from Korea. Oh, it's lovely to see you, Bayern. Oh, you're such a sweetie. Oh dear, Ollie's got a sore face. What have you been doing, Ollie? His face is on fire. Hello, Tam. Hello, Rye. Lovely to see you boys all in again. You're so sweet to me, you know. I couldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys. It's you guys that make me come on. I was tired. I was out and about last night, went to see Mirinda, and I was tired, and it got to about, I realised at 7 o'clock I hadn't said that I was going to be doing a live tonight, and I thought, oh, those boys are going to be waiting. So, be prepared, or no, be fully aware of how much you mean to me. You mean a lot to me, boys, honestly. And yeah, some people may say, why haven't you got any older people who follow you? I don't know. Mind you, when I seen Rinda last night, right, that is fabulous. Thank you very much indeed. I'm glad you think I look beautiful. Not many people say that to me nowadays. Do you know what? I've got this friend. She's my old next door neighbour. She loves me and I love her back. Now, let me tell you, she's a Muslim. She comes from Pakistan. And we were neighbours for about 15 years and we got really, really close. Anyway, she proved herself to me. Now, you guys, you're all young. What you'll find is people come into your lives and wander out, or you open the door for them to wander out because they do something that you feel you're not happy about. They're not, you know, they're not taking your feelings into consideration and they're not on your side, really. Anyway, she's always been on my side and she is such a beautiful friend to have. We call each other sisters and I must say, she is amazing. And when my daughter was really, really sick and I was at my wit's end, I went to see her and we sat at her table and she held my hand and I said to her, I need prayer. Remember, she's a Muslim. So I sat at her table and she held my hand and we both prayed together. That's why. That's what real friends are. And I wish for you guys that you have a friend like that. I really do, because she means the absolute world to me. And anyway, that's not about charity again, is it? I'm rambling on. Right, let's see what you've got to say. Now, have you guys got anything specifically to say about those two, about charity or about equality? Do you have anything to say about it? Ollie, I'm concerned. What's wrong with you, darling? You've got ice on your face. His face is on fire and he's got ice on it. Why? And I'll tell you something else, right, about that incident with my best friend. The funny thing is, she's got a Pakistani name. I've never called her that because when we first started chatting over the fence, I said to her, so what's your name? And she told me and I said, oh God, I can't pronounce that. So she said, well, you call me what you want to call me. So I call her Rosie and it's stuck. It's stuck. I mean, on her Christmas cards and whatever, I always call her Rosie. She's known as Rosie to me and to my family. We never call her by her first name. One day, accidentally, I called her proper name and she told me off. She said, oh no, don't. She said, I can't be listening to you. You know, I can't take you calling me by that name because I know to you I am Rosie and that suits me. I just want to show you something. Hang on a sec. Excuse my fat ass as I get up from the chair. I'm just rubbish on here, I tell you. But I found this. She sent me a message today because I called in to see her today because the daughter's away and the daughter now lives next door to her. And she sent me this message. Look at this. Oh, hang on now. I have to remember I have to turn the lighting down, don't I, for you guys to see it. So, oh, look at me getting all good. Look, she sent me that today. Why can't we all just get along? See, and the prejudice she faces when she goes out because she's Muslim. I mean, she doesn't wear all the garb, usually. Sometimes she does, if she's going to a wedding or something. But, right, I want to show you this that she sent me. She says, "Hi, Mrs. How are you? Just felt like sending you a message for a couple of days to say thank you for being my friend, soul sister. It doesn't matter when or how often we meet, but you are always in my mind and prayers. Love you so much." Isn't that lovely? Why can't all people be like that? Anyway, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know why I'm going on. I've got to let the cat out. Hang on a minute. Hang on a sec. There we go. Aska's in. She's driving me nuts. She can't make up her mind whether she wants to be in, out, or whatever. Anyway, so what have you guys got to say about equality? How was Rinda? He was amazing. He was beautiful. Should I show you a picture? Let's get a picture. Always get a few pictures with him. I gave him a kiss yesterday and he ended up with a big red blob. Because I had bright red lipstick on. I've got lipstick on now. You can't really tell, can you? But I was wearing bright red lipstick. So I got a kiss. As you do. Right, let me see if I can find him. Do you know what happened? Oh, anyway. Oh, I got a picture with his dad as well. I was chatting away with his dad. They all think I'm mad. Anyway, there he was on the stack. Now, usually when I go to one of these charity events, it's much more informal and he walks around and we all get to have a chat with him. This time he was up on a stage, which was a shame really, because I like to get close. I like to get close to my man. There we go. How gorgeous is he? Can you see that? Anyway, talking about charity, that charity was for multiple sclerosis, which I think is, it sounds as if they're a very, very good charity. They're called Aim to Cure, and what they do is they get as much money as they can so that the people who have multiple sclerosis can have wheelchairs and things like that. I love charities. The only reason I don't give to other charities is, other than the ones that I've said, is because I'm never sure if the money's going to go to them. I remember once going to my local Morrison's and there was a guy outside and he had a bucket, and as soon as I see children, I always look because, as you know, I love children. And he had this bucket and I said to him, actually, I think he was inside. I think he was inside the Morrison's. And I said to him, oh, I said, so who are you collecting for? And he went, and this was his attitude as well. So I said, oh, hi. I said, who are you collecting for? Oh, I'm collecting for the local kids. I said, no, a local kids charity. I said, oh, okay. I said, so what charity is it? And he went, well, you know, local kids. Local kids. And I went, oh, okay. So I walked away and I went straight to the manager, asked for the manager. The manager came and I said, listen, I'm not sure about this guy because I've asked him which charity it is and he doesn't seem to know what charity it is. He was gone. By the time I'd gone round the shops and got all my shopping, he was gone. Out of there. Now, that is one of the reasons why I'm always a bit nervous about giving to other charities, because you know, you never know if they're bona fide or not. You've all stopped talking in there. Are you all listening to me? Or is it that me thing's not working? Blooming mouse is playing up. Just does what it wants to do. Or have you all gone and left me? Anyway, so, as I said, I give to Bernardo's. I give to cancer charities. And I always go in the cancer research shop and make sure I buy something. and I also always give to childhood leukemia for obvious reasons. So is there any charities that you give to? I seem to have lost. I can't see any of you chatting. Have you stopped chatting, or is it just I bored you to death? What's happening? Oh, there we go. Let me see. Yes, I thought it was dodgy as well. I thought it was. I like Rinder. He says, talking! Yes, he does. He does say talking all the time. That's good. So Rye's saying, okay, he gives to animal charities. Okay. See, I would never knock anyone for giving to any charities whatsoever. But I think it's quite nice to give to smaller charities. When my granddaughter was ill, we always used to give to the local cancer hospitals as opposed to Great Ormond Street, because Great Ormond Street gets so much money, you know, because there's such a worldwide known hospital, whereas, you know, some of the smaller hospitals, they don't get the same amount of money or the same what's the word I'm looking for, exposure as the bigger hospitals. So my granddaughter was treated in Addenbrooke's, which again is another big hospital. So yeah, we give to them as well. So let's see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, I do too, Ollie. I love the charity shops. Yeah, okay. So I think it's good that the schools encourage charity or charities because, you know, you can't, although we may live in our own little bubbles, there are people out there that desperately need help, and Africa is one of those places. And I mean, if I could be sure that any money I gave to an African charity got to the needy people, then I would give to charities in Africa and all over the world where it's definitely needed, where aid is needed. Yeah, I agree, Tam. That's why I asked the manager, because he just didn't seem right to me, this guy. And the manager did, in fact, thank me afterwards. Oh my God, Ollie. Yeah, and Ollie said that he doesn't give to homeless people anymore because he gave a guy a couple of quid at the bus station. Then a week or so later, I saw him driving around in a Porsche. Yeah, I mean, that's going to make you feel a bit choked, isn't it? But you know, if I see homeless people, I give them money. I can't help it. And I mean, I did give somebody some money once, and the next thing I knew, he was in McDonald's. But who's to say? I mean, I think it's down to your own self. What am I saying? I talk properly. It's up to you, isn't it? If you don't feel that you can give to homeless people, then, you know, that's your choice. But I like to, and in fact, when I go to a large town near me, there's a woman. She's an older black woman, and she sits there, and because I've given to her before, she always comes up to me and says, "Oh, good morning." I don't say it like that, but she'll say good morning, and I'll say, oh hi, how are you today? And do you have? And she'll say, oh, do you have some money today? And there's been occasions when I haven't had any money, so and I've said to her, look, I'm really sorry, I've got no cash on me today. She even caught me when I went to bingo once, when I was queuing to get the money out of out of the hole in the wall. And she said, oh, do you have money? And I said, do you know what? I haven't. I've just had to take some money out. My daughter's like, oh, mother, please don't stop giving to this woman because she's chasing you around everywhere. But the way I look at it is, what sort of life does she have that she has to sit there in the middle of town and ask people for money? She can't have a very good life, can she? So I do give to her. And yes, she does follow me around when I'm in town, but no. Once I give her the money, she goes off and, you know, I don't care what she does with it. I don't give her much. So, yeah, see, Tam says when he was at school, the charity was for building a new school in Kenya, and there was an investigation. And they found that the charity money was going, well, they didn't find, but they were trying to find out whether the money was going to the right place. But apparently it wasn't. Yeah, see, there's always that, isn't there? But I mean, does that mean that because there's one bad egg in the charity atmosphere or sphere that nobody should give? I don't know. And I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people do not give to homeless people. I'm not saying I'll throw them a fiver or anything like that. I don't. But I will actually stop and talk to them. And that normally has them running off up the road. It's that bad woman. No. I will say to them, when did you have your last meal? One night I was out and there was this young guy and it was bitterly cold and he was laying outside Tesco's and he was only a young guy. And I said to him, I said, are you all right there? And he was like freezing in this blooming blanket. And I said, are you okay? And he said, yeah, I'm all right. I said, well, can I get you anything? Because I'm going into Tesco's. Can I get you a sandwich or can I get you a drink? He said, no, it's all right. I have eaten today. And what did I do? Did I buy? I think I bought him something when I was in there because I thought, one, he was very honest. He could have said, yeah, I haven't eaten for days. But he didn't. He said, no, I have eaten today. So I bought him a little something. But yeah, I mean, if you don't want to give people money in the street, then maybe buy them something. I mean, that's not going to hurt, is it? And do you know what I find? I always feel when I see people giving, it makes me want to give. And when we had a couple of summers ago, when we had a really hot summer, I remember seeing like the local homeless people being given bottles of drink, bottles of water. And I just thought that was a really nice thing to do. So I did it, you know. I just think it's a nice thing to do. Yeah, see, I'm with you a bit there, Ollie. You know, I don't really mind if he spends it on drugs or booze, if it's going to make him feel better. I mean, it's not much of a life for them, is it, on the street? Okay, so Brandon says, a guy in Barcelona was on the street, so I gave him €1. Then he wanted the other money I had. I had €5 on me. Then I just went away and saw him pull €20 out of his pocket. Yeah, that's not very good, is it? Ollie said, but there is a lovely homeless man called Anthony who sells big issues outside HMV. And every time I see him, I'll go spare some cutter. That's an unusual saying. I've never heard of that. I'll go spare some cutter. I've never heard of that before. Does that mean you'll go and get some money? Make sure you've got a little bit of money. Oh, there are not many. So, Bayern says there's not many homeless people in Busan in Korea. I think there's most big towns or cities in England have homeless people now, sadly. So Tam asked, what do I think of TV charity, and have I ever given for children in need? No, I haven't. I haven't ever given in children in need, and that's basically because I think maybe many years ago I might have done, but I don't recently because I prefer to give it to the person. I suppose it's that trust thing again, and thinking, well, is the money going to go there? And also, and this is probably going to sound really bad, but I feel that with the children in need thing, I feel the celebs that are on there saying, come on, give. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, you give. Why aren't you giving? Now, I know a lot of people do give. I know a lot of celebs do give. But I feel these people that have a darn sight more money than we have, than we'll ever have, should be the ones that are giving. Don't be dependent on those of us that scrimp and save to get through to be, what's the word? Made to feel guilty about not giving. At the end of the day, these people won't miss a grand here or there, whereas we would. I can't give a grand to anybody. So that's one of the reasons I don't give to children in need, because I think, you know, there's so many celebrities that can do it. Let it be about the celebrities. Let's have this sort of thing where it's how much can the celebrities give, because they could give a darn sight more than all of us, than Joe Blogs, that they're begging for. I don't like begging, and I don't like famous people begging people who don't have money to give money, if that makes sense. Right, let's read back. Right, there's so many homeless in Manchester. They go into Piccadilly and just lie on the benches and sleep outside the station. Stockport, my local town, also has lots of homeless people. Okay. Oh, you're in Manchester, are you, Brandon? That's where I go to see the judge. He films in Manchester. Right, it's for Clockwork Orange. It's based. I like that, Ollie. Hello, Dwayne. How are you? Are you good? Yeah, with you there, Rye. Although they're in hospital, they probably can't get any more better with more money. Not sure about that, Brandon. He says, I don't like children in need, and it is too big up, and it's just so people who don't really need it, although they are in hospital, they probably can't get any more. No, I don't like that, Brandon. I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. Ollie says, I don't like children in need because of how dramatised everything is. Yes. The sad music and the slow motion just makes everything seem forced. I am in agreement with you there, Ollie. I can't watch it. It's just like, it's too much of a brainwash, and I don't like that. I give to charity, but I don't need to be brainwashed into it, and I don't need to be shown pictures or, you know, stories of these poor kids to, you know, to be forced or to be pressed into giving. I don't like that, you know, and I'll give to my own charities, and I just don't like it. Okay. Oh, hi, Dwayne. When will your daughter be on a stream? You said she might be a while ago. I don't know, Dwayne. I don't know. She's a bit busy at the moment. But I've got a picture of her with me last night because she came with me to see the judge last night. So we took a couple of pictures. Hang on, let me see if I can find one with her and me. Da, 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 da. Oh, God. You never believe what happened last night. I had the tickets on my phone. So we get in there and it was like a cattle market. All these women forced, you know, determined to get in front of the next person. So there I am. And all I had to do was get the email up. Do you think I could do it? My phone just went dead. So I had to turn the phone off, go back on. It wouldn't bring it up. I was so annoyed. Anyway, here she is. Me and her. Oh, there. I had my white glasses on last night. Can you see? That's me and the daughter. We did have a good laugh. It was good. I do love the judge, Dwayne. I do love the judge. Did you ask the judge about his crime stories? What would I ask him about, though? What would I say? Sorry, Jan. Okay, all right. So Brandon's come back. Sorry, Jan. I didn't really mean that. I just meant they should give to penniless families rather than children comfortably in hospital with support from other charities as well. I'm not gonna be drawn on that, Brandon. But thanks for trying to explain it to me. Alright, okay, so Ollie says it does injustice to the story if you treat it like a film. The stories are sad. All those special effects and sad music are just unneeded. Yeah, I know. That's to, what's the word? Pull at people's strings. Yeah, my other daughter's on holiday, Rye. She's in. I think they went to Barcelona today. They're having a fab time. Yeah, so I'm sort of going over to the house and looking after the house for her. And today I planted some... she's not good on gardening, so I normally do the garden over there. And I planted some plants so that when she comes home, she can see. I've done like a basket out the front. So when she comes home, she can see that I've done it. So I've got 2 daughters, Rye. I've got 2 daughters and 2 sons. One of them, the teen, has got a cold. We haven't spoken about equality. We're 38 minutes in, guys, and we haven't spoken about equality. Give me your views on equality. I'm not a feminist. Do you know, it really annoys me. I put Lippy on before I come on, and by the time I finish blooming talking for half an hour, it's all gone. Hang on. That's made a big difference, hasn't it? Hey, Dwayne, last night I saw the judge. Did I tell you, Dwayne, I saw the judge last night? And I gave him a big smackaroody. Ended up with a big bright red lipstick on his face. I then had to wipe it off. Do you know what? I don't know what's happening, but your live feed is like, it keeps stopping. It's annoying. It's either that or you're not talking. It's probably that you're not talking. If they present it without the over dramatisation, then it would seem much more genuine, I reckon. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, gender separation is cruel. What do you mean by that, Brandon? The judge got very lucky. He got this. Mwah! Do you want to see the picture, Dwayne? I've got loads of pictures. I tell you what, between you and me, his dad is a real charmer. Let me tell you that. That's all I'm going to say. Right, okay, hang on. I actually got a picture with his dad as well, but I'm not sharing that. Here I am! There we are, Dwayne! Anyway, what did Meghan Markle say about feminism? What did she say, Tam? I don't know. Do you know, I don't class myself as a feminist, it has to be said. Having said that, I don't think I'm an activist anyway. I'm not. I don't think I am. But I believe that women should have the same rights as men. Does that make me a feminist? I also believe, well, I know for a fact, I like it if a man opens the door for me. Is that wrong? And not because I'm an old girl, but because it's just manners. What's the difference? I've brought all my kids up to have manners, and if I saw my son not letting a woman go before him, I would say something to him. I'd say, oi, you just let her in. Do you see what I mean? But does that make me a feminist? I think with a lot of things, it's just got way out of hand. Don't you? Yeah, okay, so Meghan Markle declares herself a feminist on the British monarchy's website. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong in that. If she's a feminist, then that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. What does that mean? She doesn't like men? See, I think some people get it wrong. Some people think that feminists are all gay and they don't like men. That's not true. I think, you know, feminists want women to have the same rights, and we don't have the same rights. We don't get paid the same as men for doing the same job. Is that right? No, it's not. But I still wouldn't say I'm a feminist. Thank you, Dwayne. Dwayne lets women go through. But it's like when I'm on a train. If a man sat down, I would kind of expect him to get up if he's got manners, or at least to say, did you want to have a sit down? That doesn't happen. And it's not because I'm old, it's because I'm a female. I feel that as a female, I should be offered a seat by a man. Why is that wrong? See, some people would say, well, you're just as able to stand as he is. Well, yes, I know I am, but isn't it manners? I look at it as a manners thing. Maybe because I'm an old bird, I don't know, but that's the way I look at it. Right, okay. Okay, now we've got a few things coming out. Please talk, guys. Right, someone said there was a guy who was lynched on Twitter because he didn't pay for the girl's food on the first date. See, he shouldn't be lynched for that. They don't know what the situation was then. Maybe the girl said, don't worry about this, I'm quite happy to pay for myself. See, some girls get offended when they're asked, you know, when the man wants to pay. I wouldn't be offended. I'd say, yeah, go ahead. Quite happy with that. But some women, it's like, it's an insult to them if they're not allowed to pay for the meal. Why? And this is what gives feminism and, you know, these new things such a bad name. Jesus. don't get it. Do you know, I think if I went on a date, a first date, and he didn't offer to pay, I would kind of be a bit insulted. Is that wrong? I mean, even if, you know, I had enough money and I wanted to pay, then I would say, oh, come on, let me put some money towards it. But I mean, if the guy didn't offer, I'd think, oh, I don't know. It just shows lack of manners to me. Teachers can be very feminist. Why do you think that, Brandon? Someone says there is traditional feminism, which strives for equality for every gender. Then there are the nutcase bints you see on Twitter these days. There are. I've had some attack me for some reason for I've said something along those lines, and I'm like, whoa, steady on, girl. Sort yourself out. I can't be bothered with it. And do you know what? These people are so hell-bent with their ideas of femininity and feminism. They spew venom and hatred towards anyone that doesn't have their passion. And that's where I think it's wrong. We're all entitled to our own opinions. And yes, I'm female, but I'd also like some manners, if you don't mind. And, you know, if I said something like that on Twitter, I'd be hung, drawn and quartered by the bloody feminists on there. Oh, good, I'm glad. Someone said that I'm not being unreasonable. I just think I forgot what I was going to say. I just think if a man has been brought up correctly, he will offer. Why is that wrong? Why is that wrong? I don't get it. Okay. See, I like that, Brandon. See, Brandon says it's not very respectful, and you need to make a good impression on your first date. See, I believe that. It's like when my son, my teen, went out on his first date. I made sure he had enough money, and I actually said to him, make sure you pay. I don't care what she says, you pay. I don't care how many dates you go on, you pay for the first date. Okay, so somebody's saying, I mean the teacher's favourite girls and can slag off boys for being naughty. Not all, but some. Rye says, would I marry the judge if he was straight? I don't fancy the judge, as in, you know, I don't fancy him. He has a kind soul and I love him for his soul. I love his soul. I love what he stands for. I love his warmness. I love him as a soul. But I don't fancy him. Although he's got quite a nice body when he strips off. So I'd have him as a best friend. I don't think I'd marry him because, no, that wouldn't work. Right, let's get back to the teacher's favouriting girls and slag off boys. That's not really the case in my opinion, Brandon. I worked in education for 8 years and secondary education. I preferred the boys. The girls drove me nuts. I don't think teachers favour girls over boys at all. You may find that in your experience, and that's fine. If you've found that, then you've found that, or you feel that that's what happens. In my opinion, it's not what happens. Boys and girls are very different, and they should be treated individually, which is how I always treated my students when I was in education, and I feel that that's how most people, most people in education feel as well. You can't really generalise, and it's not fair to generalise. So yeah. I'm sure we all sort of feel that, in times. What do you feel about equality as you get older? What have you seen? Is Mason all right, Dwayne? Yeah, okay. We've got somebody who disagrees with me on that. Okay, Ollie, I accept that. And Ollie says, I respectfully disagree with you there, Jan. I don't believe in the concept of men having to pay on the first date. I mean, why isn't any social construct saying girls should pay the whole bill? You know what, Ollie? I can't argue with you there, but what I can say is my perception of it. And I do appreciate if you feel that way, then you feel that way. I'm not going to change your mind about it, am I? So, we can disagree on it, and, that's perfectly fine. And I find it interesting to read that you don't look at it that way, and I wonder why. I mean, what do your parents feel about it? I mean, am I just showing my age? I don't know. I see it more as a respect. I feel, but it's interesting. How old are you, Ollie? We are animals and we should learn to give animals the same respect. I agree with you there as well, Brandon. I love animals. Hi, Mason. Mason's come on late again. Mason's a busy boy. If it was right, Ollie says, if it was a lovely evening and we both had a good time, then I would offer to pay. I wouldn't pay just because of some social structure. Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't know. I see, it's hard for me, Ollie, and it's probably because I come from a different generation. But I respect that. I mean, so if you were going out on a date, would you not feel that it was the right thing to do to say, to pay for the girl? Hi, Mason. Yeah, Ollie does seem older than 18. Maybe it is a generational thing. I don't know. Interesting. What do you boys think? Rye is in agreement with me. What does Tam say? Men and women should split 50-50 because that's equal. Yes, Yeah, I do agree with that. And, you know, I think if my son said to me, oh, she wouldn't let me pay on, you know, the first date because she insisted, then I would accept that. Have any of you guys gone out with a girl and not paid for the first date? And if so, how did it make you feel? So, Ollie, did your parents not tell you that you should offer? Okay, so Mason says, in all schools I go to, female teachers got on with me really well, and male teachers just the same. I see staff as friends as I get on with them more than other students. Yeah, no females have been favoured over males in any of the schools I've been to. See, that's the same with me. In the schools that I worked in, girls definitely were not favoured over boys. Yeah. See, some people, I think, instead of taking it, you know, this pain on the first date thing, instead of taking it as a feminist thing, would look at it as an outdated thing. Does that make sense? Because I think that's what I'd probably think. I wouldn't think, oh, God, she's a feminist. I'd think, oh, you know, she's a modern girl, I suppose. We do need some females on this stream. I can't get them in. Why can't I get any females? We've got Claire, but then I know she has a problem coming on. But I know. I don't know why we haven't got any females in. So what else can we say about, you know, equality? My parents say it's a kind thing to do, which it is. At the same time, I wouldn't be offended if the girl didn't offer to pay. I went out with a girl once who completely agreed with my point of view. Yeah, and there will be girls that believe that, and, you know, I respect that. But I don't think people should be slated for it. You know, mind you, I remember seeing this older couple on Blind Date, and the man didn't offer to pay, and I found that really rude, and I think she found it rude as well. I think, you know, on things like yeah, I agree with you there, Mason, as well. I think on things like Blind Date, or First Date, I mean, not Blind Date, I think on, you know, it does show a lot on there. And men do get really offended if they're not allowed to pay for the bill. You see that more than you don't. And, you know, is that a social thing? Is that because of social expectations, modern social expectations? Or is it because the guy's a bit of a tightwad? I mean, what is it? What do you think? Have you seen that? I've seen it a few times, actually, on first dates where, you know, the guy is sort of saying, oh yeah, we'll go halves. And my immediate thought is, oh my God. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that thinks that. Tam says at Harry and Meghan's wedding, there was no female vicar. So is that not equal? What do you mean by that? Why would there have to be a female vicar? I think men and women are exactly the same. We shouldn't be treated differently or given different options. We should be equal and not slated for gender. No, I don't think we are slated for gender. I see where you're coming from, says Ollie, and I respect your point of view. But I'm of the mindset that people are all 100% equal. So social constructs. What do you mean constrictions? Constricts like that don't mean much to me. It's all well and good saying, you know, everything's 100%, but let's be honest, it's not. We're not. Females are not 100% equal to male. Biologically, as well as status-wise, we're not. We don't get the same money. We have the babies. Men don't have the babies. So how are we 100% the same as men? We weren't intended to be 100% the same as men because we are female and they are men, are male. It's like in the animal world. Males and females aren't the same. And it's got to be the same for humans as well. We're not. We're not the same. But if women do the same jobs as men, women should be paid the same. No, you don't always have male vicars, Tam. You do have female vicars. Yes, I agree, Rai. Men and women should be paid the same. We don't have the same money. Problem there. We should. And we should. It's like, you know, in entertainment, the highest paid people are always the men. Why? You can get the same people doing exactly the same jobs on the BBC and the men will be earning a darn sight more than the women. That's inequality. It's the same as if you had a black man and a white man doing the same thing on the BBC and the white man was earning a lot more because of the colour of his skin. That would be inequality, and that's unfair. It shouldn't matter on your age, the colour of your skin, your sex. If you're doing the same as somebody else is doing, then you should be paid exactly the same. But it hasn't been like that. And it still isn't like that. Let's not fool ourselves. As much as we have people saying, you know, oh, women's rights and all the rest of it. Yes, women should have rights. But at the end of the day, unless it starts at the very top, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And it should happen. They don't get paid the same, Ollie. That's fine, Ollie. That's what this is about. This is about a chat. Yeah, I can mess around and have a good old sing-song, but Jan's World is about chatting. And I'm glad you're all chatting and you're not afraid to say your opinion. Say your own opinion. Don't just agree with me for the sake of agreeing with me because you think I'm not going to like you anymore. No, that doesn't matter. You say what you feel and it gives us the opportunity to talk. And it gives you the opportunity to talk. So don't apologise for what you believe in, Ollie. That's perfectly fine. See, Brandon said, Mason, I agree. In the olden days, you would never get away with fighting a woman. And men would never do that back then. Nowadays, men argue and fight with women all the time. It's been going on for years and years and years, Brandon. It's not a new thing. Right, okay. Oh dear, I'm missing some of this now. Okay, where does Claudia Winkleman come in? Who said something about Claudia Winkleman? Mason. For example, I say I made the Mason Show and had Susanna Reid and Alan Jones as the hosts. I pay them equal amount, yes, regardless of gender, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Nowadays, you know, these big corporations are paying up. But that's not across the board, you know, and it's only because these, you know, feminists and equal rights campaigners have made such a big thing about it that it's come into fruition that people are getting paid the same as their male counterparts. But it's not entirely across the board. I'm sure there's still areas where it doesn't happen. It's like, you know, it's like athletes. Look how much footballers get. Look how much they get paid weekly. Do the girl footballers get paid that much? No, they jolly well don't. And you could argue that, you know, football, men playing football is much widely publicised, and there's so much more coverage about it, and it's better. You could argue that. And also, it's huge, but, you know, even a footballer who can dribble a ball well and score a few goals gets paid an extortionate amount of money. And you compare that to a nurse who goes in, day out, and looks after sick children and looks after sick old people. How can that be that this guy, who happens to be quite nifty with his feet, gets paid so much more than somebody who saves people's lives? How is that right? Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know where it came from. It came from, I think it came from a day where, you know, in history where the male was seen to be the breadwinner. So he had to be earning enough money to support his family. Now, the nuclear family is so much different now, and we have all different types of families. We have a man and a wife and the 2 kids. We have a woman and a couple of kids. We have a man and 2 kids. Back in the day, we didn't have that. But the inequality still stays there because the norm is for the man to go out and work, and the woman can work part-time because she's had a couple of kids. That's where people are fighting for that woman to be able to earn the same amount as the man that she's living with if she goes out to work. But it doesn't happen. You know, companies know if a woman comes in of a certain age, in 5 years' time maybe, or within the 5 years that she's been there, she's going to start having kids. What would change equality in the workplace is if men could get pregnant. That would change it a great deal. But it's not going to happen. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean you're just agreeing with what I'm saying, really, and you know that's why I'm always, you know, when people say men and women are the same, no, they're not. And you know the fundamental point and the fundamental difference is that women give birth. That's where it comes from, and it goes back way in history because women give birth. If men gave birth as well as women, then maybe there would be more of an equal difference. Because, or maybe there wouldn't be any difference because when young people went to get a job, you know, they're going to think, oh, well, is he going to start having a family in a few years' time? And eventually it would be balanced. But while the woman has the babies, it's not balanced. And it never will be. The woman has to give up so much of her time to be a mother. And, you know, even if she's in a high-powered job, if she has a child and gives that child up to like a nursery or a nanny, she's then deemed as a bad mother. Because fundamentally, that's what us humans do. We reproduce. And in order to reproduce, and when we reproduce, we need to nurture our young, which is what animals do. But because our lives are all about earning money and, you know, building the best houses and having the best lives based on our wages, based on money, we're always going to lose out. Women are always going to lose out because if they do have kids and they go back to work too soon, it's not seen as a good thing. I, for one, you know, I had my kids and I was happy to stay at home and I put my career, if you want to call it, on hold. And I've done, you know, loads of things, but it's always been, once I've had my kids, it's always been worked around the children. Men don't have to worry about that. It's all, you know, it's a biological thing. Okay, let me read what some of you guys have said here. Why do they front... Okay. The pay gap has been debunked so many times. It is pregnancy, leave and women working part-time, which is exactly what I said. Jan, not necessarily about feminism, but as a woman, what do you think of men calling women pet names like babe, darling, love, etc.? Does it offend you if you don't know them well or not? It doesn't offend me. No, it doesn't offend me. And at my age, you know, I call everyone darling, you know, or sweetie, or, you know, I didn't when I was younger. But I mean, also, and, you know, I think it depends in what circle of friends. I've got different circles of friends, and, you know, not so much now, but back in the day, I had you know, different circles of friends. So I had, mums, and I had artists, and I have, and I've still got them, and I have, like, people, lovies, you know, people that have been on the stage or been on TV. So, in those instances, you're always called lovey, you know, you're always called love or darling or dear or that. It doesn't offend me. It just doesn't offend me. But I know that some feminists get really offended by it, don't they? I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, somebody's agreeing with me on the footballers. Yeah, Mary Berry should be paid the same as Paul Hollywood. They basically do the same job. I don't know if she gets the same money. Oh, hang on, you're shooting up. How many midwives? What? How about midwives? They give us our future and hope in life. The ones who gave us the most famous people barely get paid a fraction as much. Do you know, I'm so with you there. I'm so with you. I've just said it. Just gone on my rant. I've said it, you know. To me, the people that should earn the more money are nurses, doctors, firemen, police, you know, and if that makes me a lefty, then I'm a lefty. But that's what I believe. You know, stop giving all the money to people who happen to be good at something. Give it to people that save our lives, that show love and compassion for other people. Right, men are biologically stronger and fitter, whilst women are capable of bringing life into the world. I know a family where the man stayed home to take care of the kids and the women went out and worked. Did they earn the same amount of money though, Ollie? What did Mary... I'm sorry, I'm not a great fan of Mary Berry. What does she do on there? So it's not that women get paid less, it's that they take more time off. No. Disagree with you there, Ollie. No, I disagree with you there wholeheartedly, Ollie. But she calls herself a man-hating feminist. Yeah, see now somebody, Mason has said, I really like a female pop artist called Zara. She claims to be a feminist, which she is, but she calls herself a man-hating feminist. As a man, I'm offended and sad as I'm a fan of hers, but she claims to hate men. Yeah, that's kind of harsh for you, isn't it? Yeah. See, I'm not a... Well, be careful what I say here. I don't think I'm a feminist. By the things I've said on here, what do you guys think? Am I a feminist? I'm not over keen on men because I don't like what they've done to me. I don't like what I've allowed them to do to my life. So it's more about hating me. I don't like my weaknesses and I don't trust men. But I don't trust a lot of women either. So it's kind of balanced out, isn't it? What do you guys think? Am I a feminist or not? Oh, I think I'm getting a cold. He's got a blooming cold. The teen's got a cold, so I know I'm going to be getting it. Excuse me. Such a lady. I did make myself a cup of tea earlier, but it's gone. I can hear my throat's going, isn't it? Okay, Ollie. Yeah, oh God, no, I don't hate you guys. Not at all. I hate men when it comes to like... Oh, Ollie, please don't go because you feel people don't understand. Please do not go because of that. That's what this is meant to be about. It's about giving your opinion, and I really respect your opinion, Ollie. You're not offending anybody. Truly, you're not. You're not offending me. I find it interesting. I like hearing other points of view. It's not, you know, don't take it personally, Ollie. I think it's really interesting. What was it that you just said that you feel people don't agree with, Ollie? I'm just going to scoot back. Okay, so you're saying that you think women do get paid the same as men. If you believe that, Ollie, then that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't want people to, you know, feel that they can't say what they want to say, because otherwise people are just going to come on here and agree with me. And how boring is that? If you don't agree, then say you don't agree, but don't sort of run off because you feel people, you know, don't like what you're saying. You're not offending anybody. Not at all. We've all got different opinions. That's what makes us human. You're not offending anybody, Ollie. I swear you are not offending anybody. I think it's kind of cool, actually, that a young guy feels like that. I do. I mean, if we were to meet, I would ask you why you feel like that, because I'm interested. I'm interested in psychology. That's one of the things I really am interested in. So I am intrigued to know what makes you feel like that. But it doesn't mean that, you know, I dislike you because of it. Come on, Ollie. Are you still here? Just come in and say hi. Oh. Just because I haven't agreed with something, you know, doesn't mean to say that I don't like you. You know, it's all about debate, isn't it? And learning. Learning about other people. That's what life's about. You know, we have to learn about other people and about, you know, why other people feel this way. And, you know, be open to other people's opinions. That's what I want Jan's world to be about. I want, you know, if somebody comes on and believes something, I'm not going to slap them verbally for believing that. I'm just going to ask them, well, why do you believe that? You know, and I find that interesting. I mean, one of my best friends is a Muslim. That doesn't mean that I believe in everything that Muslims do, or or anything to do with Islam. We talk about it, but I don't love her any less because she has different beliefs to mine. Yeah, we do. We do all respect each other on here. And that's really important to me, that we do respect each other on here. Has Ollie gone? I'll catch him on Twitter. Yeah, I'm going to go in about 5 minutes, Brandon. So, someone's brought up the fact that they're not allowing LGBT on Love Island. Aren't they? I hadn't heard about that. It's not one of my programmes. So what do you guys think about that? I think if that's true, I think that's a shame, to be honest. I think it's a real shame. Because it might, you know, broaden some bigots' horizons a bit more. You know, for God's sake, we all live on the same world, on the same land. as I say, you know, I'm not an activist in any shape or form, but I believe in equality and, you know, equality across the board. No, I don't watch. I can't watch stuff like that. And if anyone's wondering, I haven't even watched any of EastEnders shit. And I was going to do a review. I might try and do a review on Friday. Have we lost Ollie? Yeah, I might try and do it. Tam, are you going to write a little bit more about that? About the fact, you know, about the LGBT ban on Long Island? Where have you read that? Is that a fact? They're not going to have any gay couples on there? Can you say anything about that? Because I know nothing about it. It's just not my thing, Rye. No, no. It's all smut. Brandon, what are you talking about? Right, so Brandon has said, I haven't been very necessary in this review and haven't made very many good points. Brandon, you have been amazing. Everyone has been amazing, and I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys. So don't feel that I am not happy and grateful to see you, because I am. I really am. And I get upset if one of you goes off, like Ollie's gone off. I'm upset about that because I don't want him to feel, I don't want any of you to feel that you can't say what you want to say. That's the whole thing. It's an open forum. So no, don't feel that you haven't, you know, added anything of any value in our little chat room, because you have. Oh my God. So Tam says in The Sun that they're not going to allow LGBT on Love Island because it ruins the format of the show. Does it? How? How does it ruin the format of the show to show two people of the same sex falling in love with each other? Doesn't fit their format. What a load of tosh! What a load of absolute tosh. Oh, God. Right, okay. Byron's come on and said he's just talked to Ollie and he's a bit freaked out. Ollie has autism and doesn't know how to handle arguments well, and he does not want to get riled up and end up saying something he regrets. Oh my God, now that's made me feel really, really bad. So guys, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go get in touch with Ollie, make him feel better and show him how much he's loved in here, and I want you guys to do the same thing, okay? I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you on Sunday night, okay? So take care of yourselves out there. It's a rotten old world. Love you lots.